I want to share some true stories with you. I've been helping people all my life in one way or another. But there's a few stories that stand out in my day. I was living at South Park. Yeah, that's funny. Haha. And I was low income, but we were making it. Well, one day, a couple knocked on my back door. They asked me, "Do you have any food?" I said, "Well, yeah, just a minute." And I grabbed a black trash bag, and I just scraped out my cabinets. I filled up that trash bag. And I handed it to them, and they smiled. Well, I looked, and I didn't see no car. I had never seen them before, and that was my hometown. Well, about 2 minutes after they left, I got to thinking, if they needed food, they might be homeless. So I jumped in my car, and I drove around blocks. They could not have gotten far. I mean, I drove and I looked for those two people. Yeah, I was going to bring them into my home. Or, if they didn't want to stay at my place, I was going to find them a place. It was a warm day. I could put them in the backyard. I was going to do something if they were homeless. I couldn't find them. Then it dawned on me. There's no way they could have walked very far with that heavy bag of canned food. They must have been angels. Then I was living in Christian County. Me and my daughter, we was driving an old truck going down the road. And I looked over to the right, and there was just a man. This is in the country. Just a man sitting by a bridge, dangling his feet, bare feet, off the bridge. And I pulled over and I asked him, I said, "Sir, are you okay?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "The police said he had to get off the road. He didn't have no shoes." I perceived that he was homeless or something. So I said, "Sir, are you hungry?" He said, "Yes, ma'am." I said, "Get in." So he got in the passenger side. My daughter sat in the middle, and I drove the truck. Well, we went to Crofton. We went to a little restaurant there, and I told him, I said, "Give him whatever he wants, and I'll pay for it when I get back." And I said, "Sir, what size shoe you wear?" He told me. Well, I went over to the dollar store and got him a pair of shoes.
I stayed there a while, and I had to do a little shopping too, so I was gone maybe 30 minutes.
I come back. He was gone. I paid the bill, but he was just gone. I went looking for him up and down Highway 41 and the Parkway. Couldn't find him. Another angel. Now, I told him I was going to go get him a pair of shoes. So logically, he would have waited for his pair of shoes if he needed them. Never saw him again. I was going down the road one day. This is when I had income. I saw a lady. She was looking pretty raggedy, and she was pushing a baby cart full of cans. I pulled over and handed her 20. I didn't ask her if she smoked and drank. I didn't ask her what she was going to do with that 20. It wasn't none of my business. I just handed her 20. 2 years later, I met that same lady somewhere else, and she helped me out. I was going down the road one time, and there was a woman and 2 kids. Broke down on the side of the road. The radiator sprung a leak. Well, as it happens, I keep radiator plug stuff in my truck and a spare gallon of water. I pulled over. Well, about that time, state police pulled over to help them too. I gave them the radiator plug leak stuff and I gave them a gallon of water. Well, it got them to a local garage. They were out of state, just passing through. The state police followed them there to make sure they made it. They made it. I went to a Kroger one day and I saw a couple of hitchhikers. Oh, they were rough looking. They were young, spunky, smoking a cigarette and drinking a power drink. I didn't judge them. I asked him, I said, I can't give you a ride because I got stuff in the back of my truck, but I got $3 you can have. And he came up and he said, thank you. I said, you're welcome. They were hitchhiking to Louisville. They were young. They can do it. I didn't ask them what they were going to do with that $3. It wasn't none of my business. What my business was to help them out. I was going down the road one day, saw a woman, well, a girl, and 2 guys. Yeah, I know it's dangerous to pick up hitchhikers. Unprotected. Okay? I picked them up, put the girl up front, put the guys in the back. Sure, they could have pulled a knife on me and stole my car, and all kinds of drama could have happened. But I perceived I was doing the right thing. I drove them about 10 miles to a truck stop so they could get a real ride to where their destination was. She gave me a hug, gave me her father's address, told me to write him sometime. And they went on about their way. I didn't have any money, but I gave them a ride to where they could get a ride. When I had a home and had a little income coming in, I'd go to food banks and stuff I was allergic to where I couldn't eat, I would pass it on along to people less fortunate. Yeah, I was pretty poor, but there were people less fortunate than me. I didn't ask them what they were going to do with it. I didn't mark out the barcode so they didn't take it back. I just gave it away. These are just some examples of what I do or did when I had income. Now that I'm homeless with no income, I gave a man a ride during the summertime. He had to crawl in the back. Didn't have anything for him. I gave him a bottle of water. That's all I could do for him. I mean, I'm homeless. I'm the bottom of the food chain. But I gave this man a ride and a bottle of water. He was on the highway. Might have saved his life. While I'm homeless with no income, I went to food banks before, and even though I told them I can't cook, they gave me stuff to cook. Well, I didn't throw it away. I took it, gave it to a family that is just as poor as I am, that has a stove refrigerator and could use it. So see, even though I'm homeless with no income, I still do good.
You might not hear about it. You might not know about it. You might not see it. But I'm still doing it.
And that makes them mad. Now, when you do good, don't let your left hand know what your right hand's doing. God knows what you're going to do. He gives you the opportunity. If you do it, you do it. If you don't, you don't. That's called free will. When you're medicated or self-medicated, you're less likely to use your free will than you would if you were sober-minded. That's just some food for thought. Anybody can be an angel. Oh, it takes hard work. It does. It's easier to be mean. It's easier to be cruel.
It's easier to turn your head and pretend you don't see. It's easier to snub your nose at the less fortunate. It's easier just to give a few dollars to the church, depend on the church to take care of the homeless, instead of you doing it yourself.
It's hard work to be an angel. Step up. Be one of God's angels this Christmas to somebody. Here's another story. I was gave a whole bunch of junk jewelry. It was nice. It was nice enough to give away.
This was about 5 years ago.
Costume jewelry, I guess you call it. Well, this is Christmases ago. I went and put them in little bitty gift bags, tied a ribbon around them. And I went to a Walmart and I told one of the managers what I was going to do. I was going to give his stuff away. It wasn't impeding on their business. People have to buy a jewelry cleaner to clean jewelry, right? So I went around and looked for the poorest, pitifullest looking girls that I could find. And I had them in my little riding cart. And I go up and I say, hey, I'm playing Santa. Here's 5 bags of jewelry. Pick one. And then they couldn't look and see what's in them. They could just pick one. They picked one. The little girl picked one and she opened it up and she was just tickled pink. I done that with all those bags, little bags of jewelry. And I left. That was fun for me. And it sure was fun for them. And that's back when I had a little bit of income. Do you have a little bit of income? Try something new. Go out and do something for somebody else. Forget about your own problems. Go just find a stranger and do something good for them. Show them there's Christmas spirit in 2017. God bless all those future angels out there. Good angels. They're going to step up and do good.
And God bless those angels that have helped me for 10 months. And God bless those angels that will help me in the future.
Peace, and God bless those future angels.